Have you ever taken a day off, slept longer than usual, and still felt tired when you woke up? Not the kind of tired that coffee fixes, but something heavier, quieter. We're often told this means we didn't rest enough, or that our body just needs more sleep, more time, more discipline. But sometimes the problem isn't the amount of rest. It's that the rest we take never reaches the part of us that's actually exhausted. More people are starting to notice this strange gap between stopping and recovering. Even in a culture obsessed with self-care, many adults feel worn down after doing nothing. So before we talk about how to rest better, we need to understand why rest can fail in the first place. You sit down at the end of the day, finally away from what needed you. Your body slows, your shoulders drop, but something inside stays slightly tense. It's strange how rest can look so quiet while feeling so watchful. Because even when nothing is happening, your mind is still scanning, still preparing. Over time, this kind of rest teaches you to stop moving without ever truly arriving. You go to bed earlier, take a day off, do what rest is supposed to look like. Yet the feeling of relief never fully comes, like you're resting with one eye open. If rest is happening, why doesn't it feel safe enough to let go? Because rest isn't just about stopping the body, it's about whether you feel allowed to soften. Without that inner permission, rest stays shallow, no matter how long it lasts. Even during breaks, responsibility finds a way to sit beside you. You're still the reliable one, the calm one, the person who holds things together. So when does rest stop being a role you perform? Somewhere along the way, rest became another space where you manage yourself. And slowly, softness starts to feel unfamiliar, almost undeserved. You try to rest properly, efficiently, with an eye on what comes next. There's a quiet pressure to make rest useful, productive, worth the time. But can recovery happen while you're counting down to performance? When rest is treated like fuel, the engine never fully shuts off. The body pauses, but the future keeps pulling on you. Many people say they're tired because they're doing too much. But what exhausts them most is the constant effort to stay composed. How much energy goes into not reacting, not feeling too much, not falling apart. Holding yourself together becomes a full-time job no one sees. And that kind of fatigue doesn't disappear just because the calendar says rest. Modern life rarely goes quiet all at once. Even in stillness, something is buzzing, waiting, asking for attention. When was the last time you fully disengaged without feeling uneasy? We've grown used to being half awake all the time. So true rest can feel unfamiliar, even uncomfortable when it finally appears. When rest doesn't work, the blame often turns inward. You wonder if you're just weak, lazy, or broken in some subtle way. Why does it seem so easy for others to recharge? It's simpler to question yourself than the structure you're living inside. And that quiet self-doubt becomes another layer of tiredness. Sometimes the most important shift is simply naming what's happening. Not fixing it yet, not solving it, just seeing it clearly. What changes when you realize this experience has a shape and a reason? Understanding doesn't erase the exhaustion, but it softens the shame around it. And from there, rest begins to mean something slightly different than before. Sometimes rest ends, but the tiredness doesn't. Not in a dramatic way, just quietly, like something unfinished you can't quite point to. Maybe it makes you wonder whether the problem was never the lack of rest, but something else that stayed awake the whole time, even when everything slowed down. Because long before we feel stressed, something softer starts to fill the background, a kind of inner noise that grows without urgency, without alarms, without obvious pressure. And noticing that difference might be where this conversation continues. So, we will talk about that in a different video. Until then, I hope you have good rest. See you soon.